Alright, part 3 of rebuilding this old Shimano rod. Here we're going to get started by building our own cork grips, taking 1/2-inch cork rings, using Titebond 3 waterproof glue, and applying the glue to one side of the cork ring, sliding it onto a 1/4-inch mandrel, and just stacking them up as we need to go. I'm going to actually go ahead and put both the foregrip and main grip on the same mandrel, obviously not putting glue between the two. And then I can slide it into a clamp that I've made where I've drilled a hole on one end that'll accept the 1/4-inch mandrel and a captured hole on the other side. Makes a great easy way to clamp down your cork rings for glue up. And we'll leave them for a couple hours like this under pressure. Then we'll take them out of the clamp and off the mandrel. And then we should leave them about overnight, or ideally 24 hours, or at least overnight. Well, we didn't do that in this case, and we'll see that a bit later what happens. So I've drilled them out to a 3/8-inch mandrel at this point and got them onto the lathe using this skew chisel just to get things concentric. And then I like to use a backing board under my sandpaper just to keep everything good and square as I'm doing my initial profiling and leveling. You'll see going through here, and then I shift to just regular sandpaper for my shaping, checking my dimensions along the way, and we just kind of keep working that through the process. As we get this about to where we want to in the right overall dimensions, I'll use a little 400 grit sandpaper to clean it up and switch it out and plop on the foregrip. And same thing, chisel to get things concentric, sandpaper with the backing block to square things up nice, and then we'll start to shape. And this is where I should have let it sit up overnight to make sure the glue was well cured. Sure enough, it popped apart. But that's no big deal. We'll glue those back up, hit them with a little sandpaper on the lathe later, and then we're ready for glue up onto the blank. I mixed up a 2-part Rod Builder's epoxy, flex coat rod glue here in this case, applying it onto the blank, not too heavy, but just enough to make sure things are well coated. Slide and swirl the grip onto the blank, and then we'll move on to the reel seat using masking tape for arbors. Get things sized up. I did tape off the ends of the reel seat just to help keep things nice and clean as we apply the glue. I like to make sure we get the glue really well on the ends of the masking tape so it's well saturated into the ends and keeping water out of that. We'll slide the seat on and onto the foregrip. And once we get the foregrip, we'll clean things up a little bit, peel that tape off, and then we'll move the whole assembly over into the clamp. And we are ready to move on to the guides.